Hi there guys, Sam here. You join me with a Ford Puma ST. So this is the 1.5. Now I'm super interested to try this out. Recently, about a month ago, I tried the 1 litre and that was the power shift, the automatic in that car. This, back with a 6-speed manual, back with that 1.5 litre engine, little bit more power, more potentially full fat ST than that 1 litre, so I'm really interested to see, and also just to see what this is like as a platform in general. Tried the 1.5 Mark 8.5 Fiesta ST quite a few times, similar engine, and really loved that car. This obviously a bit more of a crossover, bit more potentially usable day to day. I've met up with this owner before in the past, and so yeah, great to catch up with him again. Previously he's owned Fiesta STs. So let's just go for a little bit of a walk around, then take this for a drive and give you a summary. Yeah, we're both big fast Ford fans, so yeah, super looking forward to trying this, and yeah, super looking forward to showing you exactly how I think about this car. So yeah, let's go through this. So first of all, this owner has done a few subtle sort of modifications on his side. So the Ford Puma ST has a little bit of a front splitter, but this owner has just sort of like extended it just a little bit. I like it, looks good. The car is also slightly lowered, very sort of like small amounts just on the side. And you can see 19-inch wheels, Michelin PS4 tyres. It's in a super nice black colour as well. Just really nice stance. Yeah, it is pretty exciting. And to be honest with you, out of like a lot of cars that you can get today, Ford aren't making too many STs. I recently drove the Focus ST Estate, which you can get. I've driven the Track Pack. I've driven some cool, super cool fast Fords, and they're sort of like a bit thin on the ground, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we're November 2023, as you can probably tell from sort of like the dark grey skies. So this is pretty much all you can get these days, and the engine is certainly the big thing that I want to kind of talk about, but also a little bit about the Puma. So let's kind of go through that. Yeah, nice stance. Puma, very popular car. This is obviously the top of the range version. This owner has also got the pan roof, it's also got the comfort pack. Yeah, pretty much all the options that you can go for on that side. Yeah, nice twin tailpipes as well. Again, apologies for the lights, but this is where we're at. And with the Puma, you get a little bit more sort of like ease of use to get in. I think that's the best way. I've been chatting with the owner a little bit, and that's kind of what's made it easier to a Fiesta ST. It's a little bit too low to get in and out, whereas this is a lot easier, and yeah, adds a little bit more. This does have a pan roof as well, the blinds are shut, so you get a little bit more light in the back there. Recaro seats. Hey, if you watch my channel enough, I will keep, not Recaro seats, Ford Performance seats, replacing the Recaro seats that Ford used to sort of use for quite a while. Super comfy, exactly the same as you get in the other ones. Really nice. Oh, I like the pan roof as well. Yeah, this owner has a few little things, so a different gear shifter as well. I love the Lion. And again, this is what Fords are like. You can do quite a lot of like customizability, and actually a lot of the few little touches the owner took out of his Fiesta ST. So yeah, straight onto the Puma ST from that side. From my experience, the Puma is actually a little bit easier to kind of live with day to day, particularly on the bumps. You can actually technically go a little bit faster as well. So yeah, super nice. Super excited to see what this is like. Car sounds good. Yeah, I'll show you like a few little drive-bys and stuff of the car. Because I think the noise was one of the things that slightly missing in the 1 litre compared to this, and I'm also thinking a bit of the grunt as well. This is likely to have a little bit more even in kind of Puma guys. In terms of like some of the things that I've always noticed about these, the brakes, you know, front discs, nothing wrong with that. The rear discs, they look a little bit small in the 19-inch wheels. You can see the gap in between. Yeah, little bit, you know, maybe slightly bigger brakes might be something if you kind of wanted to go for that. That's always quite a cool thing. We'll go around and show you the whole stance. Yeah, I always like a Shawson plate. Does make things a lot nicer. Yeah, it is a nice, it's very much looking like a stealthy car. Nice LED lights. You've got the fog lights as well going through the side. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping you can get it see as much as you can. If I quickly take you around, so you can just about see the pan roof from the top, which looks special. Tinted rear windows at the back. Owners Club there if you'd like to follow it. Watford CC over, well, Watford. Yeah, I've been with them. Yeah, I've went there a few times with my Focus RS. So yeah, nice club to kind of enjoy. Yeah, sadly my Focus RS has since been sold, but yeah, still a big Ford fan. You've got in the passenger seat. It's a nice car, and with the top of the range, you get these. This is all sort of standard as well. Makes it a lot nicer touches. This only's done nearly 7,000 miles, so pretty special on that. Without further ado, I think it's time to take this car for a drive and to see what it's like, have a good chat with the owner, and yeah, we'll go from there, because yeah, super excited to see what this Puma is like, particularly as I've recently driven that 1 litre. That's kind of the main thing for me, and also just an overall takeaway of the 1.5. So yeah, let's go for a drive, let's go from there. Right, off for a drive in the 1.5 Puma ST. So with the owner today, thank you again for meeting up. And yeah, well, it's how long ago were we here in the Fiesta ST? Is it over a year?
Yeah, it's about 2 years now.
2 years. Yeah. Man, the time's going by pretty quick. But I'll leave that in the description as well, because that Fiesta was pretty special as
it was all right.
Also. Yeah,
it was all right.
But yeah, we're in the Puma ST. So I have driven the 1 litre recently. That's the first Puma I've ever driven. And I love your push button to start. That is cool. That is special. Yeah, so that's quite fresh on my mind with the Puma, because and actually I think you'd find it quite interesting seeing what that's like too.
Yeah.
Back with the 6-speed manual, and already the noise. it sounds a lot better, and I'm guessing it gets a little bit louder in sport mode. Yeah. So 7,000 miles. So how have you found it? As I initially pull away, how have you found
just
it so
how
far?
My original Mark 8 was, like we were saying earlier.
Mark 8 ST, the Fiesta,
yeah. The Fiesta Mark 8, the original Mark 8 ST, when I had that, it was brilliant. You could put your foot down and it responded. It was just happy to cruise, exactly the same as this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm loving about this so much, is the fact that you can just happily go wherever you want without any fuss, fight. But if you want to put it down,
it's got it.
Happy.
I mean, straight away, we're on sort of like some bit of farmy type roads, and I know the Fiesta's a little bit low and it's a little bit tougher to get in as well.
Yeah.
I mentioned that just sort of on my walk around.
Yeah.
I know you've lowered this car a tiny bit, but it still feels, that sort of crossover element works well in the UK just from getting about.
Yeah, it really is. And the funny thing is that even as standard, these are quite a hard setup.
Yeah,
they're quite a stiff setup.
Because you mentioned your partner, she had the ST line.
That's right.
So did you get to drive that a little bit, or
I've driven it now and then.
Okay.
And it is, if you want the kind of flouncy sort of like quiet car that's comfy to drive, that's you know, without all the hard setup and everything else, it's perfect. It's lovely. It's great. You know, she loves it. She's happy. That's good. For me, being a petrol head, these up, down, go.
Exactly. These are the best ones. I've got to say, I love the manual box on these, from standard as well. You've got a really nice shift gaiter on, and what I'll do is in the description I'll leave some of the little mods that you've done.
Yeah, sure.
They're nice little touches which other people might like as well. I know people commented on my previous videos with yourself and they were like, oh, where do I get this from? Where do I get that from? And it's like, okay, so I'll leave it in the description. Yeah, we'll chat afterwards to get it.
No worries.
So yeah, I felt with the Puma with the auto, I felt like it lost a little bit of the engagement that you can get from an ST. So it's nice to be back in a manual. And with the 1.5, so we'll pull out of it. It's wet, greasy. We've got a front-wheel drive car, so let's. Oh man, it feels really good, really good. Now I know you've got a little intake and potentially a little tune, so it's got a tiny bit more power,
yeah, a little bit.
But it feels like just the 1.5 is a lot gruntier. Like you can just feel it straight away.
There's there's a lot more torque on these, I reckon.
Yeah, they are for sort of like the 3-cylinder. They definitely do. I think the 1 litre, it felt a little bit strangled when I tried that in the ST. Guys.
Okay.
And I'm liking this over a Fiesta ST as well. I'm gonna shoot out of here. Over a Fiesta ST as well, which I wasn't too sure I would, because those cars are so much fun.
Yes.
How can this kind of compare to it? Because you get the engagement, plus you get everything like every day to just enjoy.
That's the thing. You've literally got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You really have. You've got the comfort and the comfy seats, the heat warmers, and all the rest of it. So
the seats are amazing.
Yeah.
They're always great, and I'm lucky. I've driven like so many. I'm getting through a lot of Fords, a lot of the Focus STs. If you check on my channel, it's pretty much all Ford now these days. Just because I love them. I think they really offer a lot. I'm not quite there with the electric stuff, and I think a lot of people aren't either. With the dates being pushed back now for the whole petrol ban and all these kind of things, it kind of says that maybe we were right.
Yeah.
And we were just saying, in 2023, if you want to get a fast Ford, your options are really limited now. Yeah. You've got the Focus ST is still there, which I've driven, which is great, and you've pretty much got the Puma ST, either the 1 litre or the 1.5. I don't think there is any other offering.
There's not really. I mean, other than the Focus, but then that's coming to an end soon. So it's I don't know. I don't know.
But how have you found, like, 7,000 miles? How have you found it?
Do you know what? It's effortless.
Yeah.
It really is effortless. It's still exactly the same as it was the day I picked it up. Like I say, I only sort of noticed it yesterday that we're now on 7,000, and it's still as good as it came out of the block.
Yeah.
And it's happy to do that more.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've got no quibbles.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to get into a car now and just not have anything to worry about or complain about or anything like that. Of course, you get the rattles from the pan roof.
Yep.
You get the rattles from the plastic. It's Ford. It comes as standard.
Standard with some of the quirks.
Yeah. It's OEM. But at the same time, you get in a car to drive to enjoy it, and this is what it gives. It gives that enjoyment.
That's the step up over a lot of manufacturers, I would say. If you want actually a fun car to drive, even from a base car, they're fun. Yeah. But if you go for the top of the line one, it's really great. Now I know these roads are proper bumpy, and I know your cars are slightly more lower, but it feels okay. Yeah. It feels fine. It feels engaging. So you can actually kind of like enjoy it, kind of drive it around, and have a good time. Yeah, it's a smile factor car. How is it at, like, have you taken it to a few events? You obviously go to what
we went to Ford Fair.
Yes.
But I didn't get a chance to take it around a track or anything.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, I'm going to bed it in a little bit more before we start. I think doing things like that.
That's going to be the really interesting thing in terms of like dynamics from a Puma to say like a Fiesta.
Yes.
Because you obviously. I mean, I can't imagine it's that much more weight. I know the weight's a little bit higher.
That's the thing that was kind of putting me off. First of all, was going from the ST Fiesta to the Puma.
Okay.
But bearing in mind that you're going from a small hot hatch to a small SUV. You got the weight ratio and everything else. But again, I don't know how they've done it, but it's just so mildly surprising that it's still got that much power, that much pickup, and everything else to boot. So for me, it's just great.
Yeah, I don't think there's that, or I haven't noticed any sort of compromises dynamically. No. But you certainly ease of access into the car, and that side is pretty good.
It's much better. Much better.
Let's go. I like having 3 pedals. That's something about Ford. It's weird. I literally drove an automatic Focus ST not that long ago, and it was really good. It was a really good box.
Yeah.
But there's something about this just feeling like it's just going away. We're like a stone's throw away from 2024 now. Everything's changing. Even this car can sort of pretty much park itself itself, drive itself, do everything.
It really has.
So it's only kind of going one way. So if you can get a little bit more engagement whilst you still can, I think go for it. It feels really good. Actually, one of the things, because of the bigger wheels on these, because I had a Mark 7 with 5 Fiesta ST before, quite small section wheels. With this on 19s and 225 section, actually it's got a fair amount of grip. You know, it's not it's not too bad. Obviously, if you just completely just stamp on it and it's wet and slippery and cold like today,
yes,
it's all right.
And that's another thing that I've noticed from the Fiesta to this. Is the Fiesta, it was literally so much at the front, you could just sit there and just light it up and just go nowhere.
Okay.
This does tend to just have that bit more grip. It does tend to have that little bit more, I don't know, but I think whether it's the weight.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
That's the only thing I can put it down
cars
to.
tend to go a little bit more compliant when they have just a little bit more behind them.
And then that's really good to have as well. You know, for when I do want to just quickly get off at a junction or just drop it and just boot it, you know, I've got that thing to know that comfort, I suppose, to know that it will go. Rather than with the Fiesta, I've got to tweak it gently until I can get to a certain point, and then I can start to release the beams.
I'm really liking this, which is unsurprising, really, being a fast Ford fan. I mean, I'm still surprised with how Ford aren't as still pushing kind of like the ST. You know, the RS kind of side has gone as well. Because it's a really good platform. Because people don't just want an ordinary car. They want something that still, you know, offers a little bit of everything, a little bit of fun, and still being able to work every day. You have the dog in the back, which I love. I know you had it with the Fiesta as well. And that, because that's just like real life stuff. You said did you have a big journey yesterday? Was it?
Had to go up to Nottingham yesterday for work. And again, it's just one of those cars. I mean, the journey up on Wednesday, there was a vehicle had caught fire.
Oh no!
and they actually shut all 3 lanes, so we were literally just sat there. And what would have been a sort of an hour and a half, 2 hour journey ended up as like 5.5 hours.
Oh wow!
But it wasn't a problem because you've got the comfort, you've got the warmth, and you've got the sort of thing, and you're quite happy to just sit there.
There's no kind of compromise.
Exactly, and it was just great, and it was effortless. And again, yesterday on the way home, it was a little bit of traffic, but again, like I've always sort of said, this car is so happy tootling along at 65, 70 without a problem, and more than happy to just go when you need to.
Decent economy as well. Isn't it like the 3-cylinder changes to 2-cylinder or something on the Cruise? I've heard with these. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so the actual cylinders do shut off, and they do the same with the Fiestas. So it has a cylinder deactivation sort of type thing, and then it kicks in when needed.
Yeah, I love the gearbox. I love the whole car, to be honest with you. I still kind of question why we're not going to see it. Why we're not going to see them anymore. Maybe I'm talking too much in the past and thinking, oh yeah, you know, having fun hot hatches. But hey, I think they work. You know, what's kind of like the compromise with this? There's not.
Well, this is the thing. It sells, doesn't it? You know, and Ford know it sells because they wouldn't have done so many STs and so forth. And you know, it's a shame that we've lost the RS. Now that's a real shame. But but you know, I suppose they have to look at something, and they're moving forward, and you know, hopefully we'll be equally as pleased in the future. But you know, but when you get something that they've got so good and they're shutting it off and it's becoming a dying breed, it becomes a little bit worrying.
I mean, it's never going to make sense to me in terms of like the Fiesta disappearing, the more hot hatchy stuff disappearing, RS is going, maybe the Focus now going, because I mean they've been the best selling cars in the UK for like decades. So they obviously they do something right and people want them. So to kind of just stop it all, doesn't really.
And it'll be interesting at this point as well, because I think the only competition that they kind of have, other than obviously the Golf and everything else, is Hyundai's and their i20 and the i30.
They're coming on.
You know, you've got the i20 is the equivalent to the Fiesta and the i30 equivalent to the Focus.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be a platform or something for Hyundai to really go forth. And
that's actually a really good point, because I've driven the Kona N as well, which is kind of a Puma rival. The Kona N had a little bit more power, and that was good fun. That felt quite similar to this, actually.
Yeah.
It was arguably, I'd probably say the Hyundai, because it had adaptable suspension.
Okay.
Probably firmer.
Really?
Than this in its firm mode.
Okay.
It's one worth certainly checking out, actually, as well, because they have impressed me over the last sort of few years.
Yeah.
They've sort of, I don't know, I'm not going to say ignored the whole electric kind of thing, but they've sort of remembered what's fun, and they do a bit of like racing and stuff as well.
Exactly. You know, I mean, the amount of people that I've sort of seen when I've been looking through the forums and stuff with the Hyundai owners is the amount of settings that you can have for the driver, and it probably gets a bit too much. But it still keeps that petrol head engaged. You know, it still keeps that fun factor for us that like to put our foot down and wrap it around the corner and so forth.
Definitely. They're special cars. I feel really grateful that I've been able to drive all these different types of Fords and sort of be able to kind of share it on YouTube as well, because I hope that people just watch it and kind of like get a little bit of an idea of what they're getting into, because it's tricky to understand. Particularly, it's quite fast paced when if you want to get a car, or you don't know what to check, you don't know what's good. But from my side, it's like, this is just the real world. It's a fun, fast car. You've got to expect it's going to be a little bit firmer being an ST, but I think with the extra ground clearance you get from a Puma, it settles a lot more on these roads than I would say the Fiesta. Because I've driven, it was actually around these roads I drove on the first Mark 8.5 Fiesta STs, and it was a bit more of a warmer day than it is today, and that was kind of skipping around.
Yes.
This is like and that little noise, if you can hear it on camera, that's so it's a Ram Air intake, which I remember from last time. You've got to have a bit of noise. This is definitely the right balance of noise. I've had some loud Fords, and they've probably been a little bit too loud. But this is more like you can actually live with it.
And I'm kind of a little bit restricted as well, because one of the first things that my partner said to me when I was getting this was, are you going to do anything with the exhaust? And I had plans to look at Miltech or Scorpion or something like those, but in a way I'm glad that I haven't. But more than anything, it's more for the dog. So when we're going out on long journeys, it's not loud or anything for him. So we've kept that, and I've kept my agreement. We'll keep that bit standard.
Yeah. No, and I think that's probably the right thing, because it's a usable car. You know, you haven't got this just to sit and not be driven. You've got it to kind of use.
I heard it, funny enough, actually, the first day, or the first time, sorry, a couple of days ago, on cold start, and it was just normal settings, just engine, fired it up, and I was just like, that is actually really quite loud.
Yeah, they are. Ford do a great job, considering all the regulations that are in place these days.
Yeah,
I think they do a really great job on noise. Like, it's something special. You're like, you'll like prick your ear up even from just completely stop with nothing. It's still got that little bit of extra edge.
Exactly. I'm not upsetting the neighbours with anything obnoxious or anything like so. And keep everyone happy, but at the same time, it was quite surprising. It was really quite nice to hear.
Yeah. You know what? It's really interesting, because I had my Focus RS Mark III for 6 months, and I drove it quite a lot around these kind of roads. I found it quite hard, because it's quite a wide car, and it was powerful, and it was hard to really enjoy it on a tight, twisty road. I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah, like, because it's a big, powerful car. There's no messing around. It was like, my one was like 440 horsepower, and they're wider track anyway in the RSs. And having driven the Focus ST, the Mark IV, I think that's that's okay. That you can use that as well. But these, you just have that much more leeway, that you can actually push it a little bit more, because if it just gives you that a little bit more confidence that you can have fun without having anything sort of dangerous kind of go on. and that's what it's like. Yeah. It looks so stealthy, and it definitely has a much better sort of noise to it as well.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna summarise this while we're here. 1.5 definitely, I would say, is probably the better one to go for personally, and yeah, I think overall a really great car, and it was really interesting to compare it as well a little bit to the 1 litre and the automatic too. Certainly plenty of fun, and good to see in a fast Ford that you can buy today. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and yeah, comment below if you want to know anything a little bit more. I can certainly help you out. It's very much a community channel, my YouTube channel, so anything that you can do will certainly be helpful. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, cheers guys.